Hey there friends, it's Codiak here, welcome back to Legacy Gaming and welcome to Elden Ring. Today we're checking out another boss and breaking down everything you need to know to defeat the Runebear. Talk about big boss in a small room, the Runebear isn't particularly tough, but the space you have to fight him in makes the challenge all the greater. It's a bear with two big claws, pretty similar to the ones you find roaming around the open world, and he'll use those to great effect in a number of one-off attacks or in combination with other abilities to create a deadly flurry of blows. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. First, let's locate the boss. To locate the mighty Runebear, you need to head to the Weeping Peninsula south of the starting location. Once you cross the Bridge of Sacrifice, head west, hugging the northern coast as best you can. There's a bit of jumping around you need to do due to the terrain, but eventually you'll reach this location here, the Earthboar Cave. As always, Dark and Scary Cave is filled with dark and scary things, so take it slow, dispatching any enemies you meet. Eventually, you'll reach the Fog Wall and our challenge for today. The boss's first major mechanic is a lunge attack. With both paws outstretched, he'll leap across the room, attempting to damage the player caught in his path. This is his gap-closing ability, but also your best opportunity to deal some damage, as the boss will take a long time to recover after the Runebear reaches his impact point. Runebear uses a few basic abilities that he strings into combinations. The first is a simple headbutt. This almost looks like a sweeping attack, but has a bit more of an uppercut feel to it. Be careful if you're directly in front of the boss, because this is his go-to move. In a similar vein is a bite attack. This has less horizontal movement to it and has a bit more range because the boss extends his body forward to execute the attack. There is a small windup that can tip you off that this ability is coming, so learn to identify that to avoid his big pointy teeth. Things get progressively more complex from here. The boss will employ his first of many swipe abilities, a swipe headbutt combination. First, the boss will swipe across his body and then combine that with the same sweeping headbutt from before. He can also use a simple double swipe mechanic, which is, in practice, almost identical to the swipe headbutt we just talked about. The pacing is slightly different, so you'll just need to be aware of that. Finally, if two swipes weren't enough, the boss will use a three-swipe combination to really catch you off guard. The first two attacks come quickly, then a small pause, followed by a third and final strike. This is all about the timing change, an attempt to mess with your cadence and force an accidental dodge roll. There's three more abilities we need to talk about. The first is a massive bear hug. Runebear will rear back for what feels like an eternity before crashing down attempting to catch you. If you do happen to get caught, you'll take a sizable amount of damage and be trapped for a few seconds. This is an incredibly dangerous move, so be wary. Looking nearly identical, the boss will also rear back, but instead of looking for a hug, he'll slam down with both paws. This has a small AoE component to it and deals significant damage to anyone caught directly in front of the boss upon impact. The final ability is a swipe that combos into a rearing slam. The boss will drag his paw across his body, then rear back. After a second, he'll slam his paw down onto the ground 2 times in quick succession. The scariest thing about this attack is that the boss can slightly reposition while slamming down, which means you'll need to keep moving to avoid taking a shot to the face. The real key to this fight is waiting for your moment to strike. Big bosses are often slower when it comes to recovering after an attack, and that's exactly the case with Runebear. Your best opening for damage is right after that lunge attack, and talk about a window. The recovery is so long that if you're patient and just wait for this attack, you'll have an easy enough time getting the boss down. To bait this attack, try and keep your distance from the Runebear. Because it's a gap-closing ability, the further you are away from the boss, the more likely he is to use that specific move. The real challenge with this fight is the boss, yes, but it's also the encounter area. This is one of those boss fights that challenges your ability to position properly so that your camera doesn't freak out, leading to an unnecessary death. The best advice I can give you in that regard is keep away from the edges of the room. The cave isn't a perfect circle. It's got a long side and a short side, so use the long side to bait the boss back and forth, and try to never put yourself in a position where your back is up against the wall. This is almost a case of work smart, not hard, but if you have good positioning, wait for those damage windows, and have just a little patience, the bear will fall, and his loot will be yours. As a reward for killing the Runebear, you're awarded the Spelldrake Talisman, a decent item that boosts your defense against magic attacks. I wouldn't say this is a great talisman by any stretch, but remember you can find multiple copies of these throughout the world to amplify their effect, and of course you'll need some of these defensive trinkets for fights later on in the game. Hopefully now you have a better understanding of how to defeat the Runebear. As always, our goal here at Legacy Gaming is to bring you guides that get straight to the point so you can get back to the action, and if you appreciate that, we'd appreciate your support. Hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing for more Elden Ring boss guides and more in your feeds. Of course, if you still have questions, you can join us on Discord. Our community just passed 20,000 members, and with a small section dedicated just for Elden Ring, there's always someone around to help out and answer questions. Check out the link below to join today. Finally, if you like everything we're doing here on the channel and you want to support us even more, you can do so by becoming a member. For just a couple bucks, you're helping Livid and I achieve our dreams of becoming full-time content creators. Check out the join button below to learn more. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.